What's up, guys? Welcome to my video. Today we'll be reviewing The Wolverine. This one came out in 2013 and was directed by James Mangold and stars Hugh Jackman as the Wolverine. Now, before we start, to the like button, subscribe to post notifications, posting every video. Let's just start. Let's start talking about the good. So, all the actors and actresses, I thought they're all great. Especially Hugh Jackman and Hiroyuki Sanada. Those two actors in this film are fantastic. The opening sequence, I thought it was a great opening sequence. It's basically World War II in Japan with Wolverine fighting in the war. And I thought it was a great opening sequence, and it works for the backstory of Wolverine, as this is his own film. Cinematography, which includes shots of cameras and lighting, I thought it was all great. I really enjoyed the whole look of the film. It is a darker looking film than the other X-Men films, and I think it works because the tone is very dark. This is a dark film, and the overall look of it enhances my enjoyment of the film. The first look of the film, I thought it was very well done. I enjoyed all the characters in this film. They were set up very well. Like I said, Wolverine, Hugh Jackman is fantastic, and his character does get a little bit more development in that first act. There are also some great flashback sequences, especially with Jean Grey and Wolverine. Of course, they had a relationship together in the previous X-Men films, and it does explore that just a little more, but in terms of flashback sequences, and I thought they all worked. There are also some great callbacks to the opening sequence where Wolverine meets the man he saved in the war. So in the in the first act, he does meet the man that he saved in World War II, and I thought it works very, very well. The relationship between Wolverine and Yukio. Now, their relationship, I thought it was well done. Wolverine and Yukio, they sort of have this sort of friendly relationship between them in the entire film. Yukio, she's good in the film. I thought that character was entertaining enough. There are also some great sequences in Japan with fantastic lighting, and the lighting in this film is fantastic. Well, I'll get to the lighting in another sequence later, but just the overall look of the film, like I stated, was very well done, but the lighting especially is used very, very well in this film. There are also some awesome action sequences, especially the bullet train fight sequence and the samurai sword fight with the blue lighting. Like I said, the blue lighting is fantastic. Great action sequences. The second act of the film I thought was very entertaining. There are some great silhouette shots with the ninjas. I really enjoyed that every single action sequence, and I think James Mangold really put a lot of effort into this film because every single shot that is in this film is crafted perfectly. There are also many tense sequences, especially the funeral scene. There's a funeral scene in this film where you never know what's going to happen. Everyone's looking at Wolverine, the people that want to hurt him, obviously. But he's at this funeral, and it's very, very tense. There are also some hilarious sequences, especially the bath sequence. Wolverine is very, very funny. There are also some emotional sequences, especially Wolverine's hallucinations of Jean Grey, played by Famke Janssen. She's in this film, but of course not as a starring role, but she is in this film. And there are some emotional sequences with those two characters. It's also one of the most violent X-Men films, and it obviously fits Wolverine perfectly. Now, of course, we have Logan, the rated R Wolverine film, but this film is as close as the MCU has gotten to a rated R Wolverine. Of course, there's Logan, which is rated R, but this is very, very violent, and I think it fits the tone of Wolverine and his character very well. And Wolverine does choose to lose his healing powers for some of the film, and it works for the overall story because, of course, this is not his origin story, but it's sort of a standalone film for his character. So I think him losing his powers really works for when you get into that last act of the film. There are also some good mini twists throughout the film, especially the third act twist. I thought it was a great twist for the film. The score by Marco Beltrami. Now, Marco Beltrami is a great composer, and his score, I thought this film was good. I thought the score was good for this film. Marco Beltrami previously did Scream 4, and I really enjoyed the score for Scream 4, so he brought what he did for Scream 4 into the Wolverine, but of course making it completely different, and I thought it worked. The third act of the film is very entertaining. It's basically Wolverine and Yuki versus an entire samurai clan, and they're just attacking all of them, and I thought it worked very, very well. There's also a great shot in the third act. There's one shot in the third act that is one of the greatest shots in this entire film, and it's a samurai robot versus the samurai clan shooting Wolverine with a bunch of arrows. That sequence where the arrows are going in slow motion and you see Wolverine standing there, it is fantastic. There's also a great twist in the third act where the samurai robot is the old man and Wolverine's war friend. from the opening sequence. And I thought it works because it ties in that opening sequence well. And while it is sort of predictable, it works for the end and the third act of the film. The ending sequence, I thought it was good. Wolverine goes back on the plane and returns home. It was a good ending sequence, and of course, I knew they weren't going to kill him off because it's his own solo film. And the post-credit sequence I thought was great. It's basically Wolverine, Magneto played by Ian McKellen, and Professor X played by Patrick Stewart in the airport. That ending post-credit sequence is a great one. That's about it for the good. Now let's move on to the bad. So some sequences do feel misplaced in the film. It does feel off in terms of the tone, because like I said, this is a very violent film, but there are some sequences that lean too heavy into the comedy, which do not work with the overall tone. And the villains are forgettable. There are many forgettable villains in this film. I do not remember any of the villains except the old man, which was the war friend of Wolverine. That was the only character that I remembered in terms of the villains. That's about it. The Wolverine is a good X-Men film. It is a very entertaining film, and I recommend it to X-Men fans, and I'm going to give the Wolverine a B. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to post notifications so you can know for a video. I'm Peter. Thank you for watching.